I had always wanted to be a Disney animator. And when I got on that path, I was there for that second golden age of all the best 90s and 2000s films. But I started realizing as a believer, I was starting to sort of, my sister would call me from her old little Baptist church in Arkansas, and she would say, and I have a twin brother, we both worked on Disney movies. She would say, people are coming up to me and saying, we're boycotting Disney. This is back, in the 90s. How can your brothers work for that company? And we would go, no. We'd explain there's context to each of those films. Pocahontas, we were being true to her culture. She's a real person. And they did, pray to nature. And they kind of pushed it further and made it more visual by having her talking to a tree, Grandmother Willow. And so that was the sort of excuse you could say for that. And then for, Mulan, well, they're praying to their ancestors. That's part of their culture. Ancient China, that's what they would do. They believed in that. And so we were just being true to that. But we, again, kind of made it a broad, almost comical kind of a situation where they're ghosts and you could see them and they kind of goof off. We kind of played it for comedy and stuff, but it was an intrinsic part. Then along comes a little short film. It was called John Henry. And John Henry, basically, it's an old fable, American fable, kind of like Johnny Appleseed. And like Johnny Appleseed, there's a spiritual element to it, a Christian spiritual element to it, which is that they were slaves that had just come out of slavery. And how did they survive slavery was their strong faith in God. There was a lot of Christian elements to it. They get married and there's a church in the background with a cross on it. Fast forward to, we get to the point where we're going to screen this for the president of feature animation. We screen the storyboard pass. We're waiting for the go ahead, to go into full production. And afterwards, the president says, "This makes me feel uncomfortable." And my jaw dropped. I was like, for the first time, I was hearing the other side of the story. I had heard why we did all those other films, and they all made sense in context of the films. We weren't indoctrinating anybody, I don't think, in any of those films. But now here was our chance to show the other side of the Christianity side of this, and it made him feel uncomfortable. And we actually did take out some elements like the cross on the church and things like that. I didn't know it then, but 6 months later, I quit and I went to Big Idea Productions to go be a part of VeggieTales. I trace it back to that day because a part of me was crushed in that moment to hear that. And the director was a Christian too. We had to all kind of bite back a little bit, some of our faith, what we wanted to get on the screen. It's only gotten worse over there, as we all know. And that's the industry in general. It's not just Disney. But boy, being able to work on Light of the World, it's the dream I didn't know I was dreaming, honestly. When John came to me, I soon fell in love with this film. And I'm like, forget Lion King. You guys got to see Light of the World. This is a life-changing movie. And it's fun.